Brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the Cabin.
Hello, everybody. Welcome along to another Mornings at the Cabin. Another week. It is Ollie and Lecter with you on your Monday morning. Lecter, you doing all right?
I was so close to a brekkie penalty.
You sailed in like a solid minute before the show started.
It was all duck above water. That was all you saw.
Yeah, I just saw
the
calmness.
Legs underneath.
Oh, you looked elegant and reassured as you strolled into the room this morning.
With a minute before the intro.
Yeah, it was perfect. Welcome along, everybody. Today's show is brought to you by NAC, because coming up on October the 29th, so next week, is the first show at NAC with more than 50 people since the pandemic started. They're going to have a whole live show, October 29th, 7:30 p.m. It's going to be online. It's going to be on Northwest Tel TV on October the 30th at 7:30 p.m. And it stars Thelma Chichu, who is a renowned Cree folk singer-songwriter. And she's on the show at 8 o'clock this morning. We'll be speaking to Thelma about the fact that she gets to pilot this whole... You remember gatherings, Lecter? Do you remember getting together?
Too long ago.
No.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? They're coming back. That's exciting. Also exciting, unlimited data packages for the Northwest Territories. What a show we've got this morning. Only the president of Northwest Tel on the show at 8:30.
Hey.
We've locked Wheeler safely well away from this one. Maybe we'll just handle this. You know what I'm saying?
He's probably going over his data limit as we speak.
He probably is. He's probably listening to the show, and he's just clicked over however many gigabytes he has a month. But it'll be the last time, assuming that he's happy to fork out the extra $10 or whatever it's going to end up being. They did release their prices last week. We can get into that. Curtis Shaw from Northwest Tel is going to be on the show at 8:30 this morning to tell us much more about just everything they're doing to fend off people with pitchforks and torches.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast.
This show's brought to you by NAC today. NAC coming back, just like the cat. October the 29th, very exciting news. NAC is going to be back with a full live performance. Thelma Chichu's on the show at 8 o'clock this morning to talk about being a part of that. In the meantime, just quickly, Lecter, you and AJ both suffering from a week-long Thanksgiving hangover this morning. Turns out everyone at the Cabin Radio office has deactivated their alarm on Mondays.
Yeah.
By virtue of the fact that they had last week's Monday off. Mm-hmm. And now we're just
bleary-eyed this morning.
Rolling it a little bleary-eyed today.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, it happens. And you know what? I had that back of the mind feeling the whole time when you're not sure if your alarm is going to go off and your brain is saying, just take a look. Take a look. It'll ruin your sleep. And it might actually be set, and it might be like 5 minutes till it goes off, but just take a look, just in case. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to ruin my sleep. I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to relax, and it's going to go off at the set time like it's supposed to.
People across Yellowknife listening to this suddenly thinking, oh my God, I'm still in bed. Lurching for their phones.
Just take a look.
What's Lecter doing on the air? It's supposed to be 5-something.
If you hear us talking, it's after 7 o'clock, right?
You should probably be doing something.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially if you're Jesse. But on the subject of Jesse, it's okay that he's not in this week because, of course, he's self-isolating, which is good.
That's right. Yep.
Now, there was a brief flutter of interest in this newsroom on Friday afternoon when the government...
something was going on. What?
Well, there was a few things going on, but certainly when the government of Northwest Territories announced 3 presumptive positives of COVID-19.
Oh, yes.
2 of them in Yellowknife, involving someone who had travelled back from somewhere else, and then the other person in the household had also acquired it. There was just a brief flutter of, and a brief message was sent in the direction of the Wheeler household, because, of course, the descriptions match.
Yes.
There. I mean, I'm sure those descriptions match a lot of people right now. Someone goes away, they come back, and then the household is isolating.
Yeah.
That's a thing. But we just had to check that out and just send a little message across. Just, hey, Jesse, how's it going? Just wondering if anyone has had a COVID test recently and received a positive response. He's all clear.
Yeah,
he says he's all clear, and I'm prepared to trust him on that.
Yeah.
So he's good. He should be back. I think he is. He gets out of the penalty bin Friday.
I think so. Either Thursday or Friday. I was trying to remember. Yeah, how exactly his.
Well, this whole 14-day thing. Yeah. I feel like people very liberally interpret the 14th day sometimes.
Right.
Yeah, you get back into Yellowknife at 11:58 p.m. On day 1. And then by like 12:01 a.m. on the 14th day, you're like, it's 14, right? That's 14, right? Sweet, I'm back out of here. Yeah. Alrighty, 14th day.
That makes sense to me.
Okay, sure. Close enough is how people are interpreting that.
Our reasons for believing him are twofold. Number one, Jesse's pretty honest.
He's an honest guy.
If he says doesn't have COVID, I believe he does not have COVID.
He's a car salesman. What are you going to do? Not trust him?
Second of all, I don't think he was at Anytime Fitness at any time.
I see you've done a lot of things there, and I see all of them. Very good. Very good. I mean, he probably wasn't at the RCMP detachment the next day.
No, I don't think so. No. He's more of a phone call kind of guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Particularly when it comes to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Phone it in.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I've noticed, it's interesting. I don't even think I've consciously thought about this, but I've been nowhere near a gym since Friday.
Yeah.
Hasn't even occurred to me. Like, maybe I'll just dial back on that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was doing, while we were, in peak COVID, was doing home workouts. So I would say that, I've just been working out at home. That really fell off in the summer. I don't know what happened, but yeah, that just plummeted.
Oh, come on. You guys go outdoors in the summer. There's all this kayaking and all this sort of stuff going on. Don't you try to pretend that you're some sort of slouches and layabouts over there. You're putting the rest of us to shame out there.
Not a layabout, but certainly not a workabout.
A workabout? Is that the opposite of a layabout?
I don't know, but it sounds nice.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
It absolutely should be.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mornings at the Cabin. This morning we are inventing words that deserve to be in the English language, but just haven't quite made it yet. They're just, we're in a workabout kind of mood.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast. Hey, it was early. What do you want from us?
Today is brought to you by Knack, because Knack is back. Thelma Chichu is live on the show at 8 to talk about the fact that live shows at Knack are going to be a thing again. So that is coming up. In the meantime, I'm going to read you the opening paragraph from a BBC article about a small Canadian town, and it begins like so. Finding ways to attract new business opportunities and investors is never an easy task for any town, especially in today's hyper-competitive global market. But that mission gets even tougher when you happen to be named after a carcinogenic mineral banned in 60 countries. Such is the plight of asbestos, a small French-Canadian community in southeastern Quebec, Canada. And so the article continues. And this is a whole article about not only why asbestos wants to change its name, which I think that is the title of the article, is why the Canadian town of Asbestos wants a new name. And I feel like you can guess the answer to that, because the current name is awful.
Yeah.
But there are also some other examples, and we'll get onto those in a moment. But first, there is a town councillor in Asbestos by the name of Caroline Payer. And Caroline told the...
I thought it was going to be Brian Cancer.
No. Just Caroline. Maybe she was originally. I don't know. This feels like a whole hole we could go down there of names you could have in that town. But Caroline told the BBC, one of our economic development employees was in the US last year for a congress looking for international opportunities. People were even refusing his business card because asbestos was written on it, and they thought that maybe even the card was dangerous. When you start off like that, it's not great. Now,
that's a bit much.
Caroline, that's probably more of a reflection on the US than it is on the town of Asbestos. Generally, just in case anyone is listening in and wondering, if the word asbestos is written down, that's usually safe.
Yeah.
If it's written in asbestos, bad. If it's the word asbestos, okay.
Maybe it was a misinterpretation. Maybe they were handing the card that said asbestos on it, and people were like, "Ooh, I just don't think that's very safe." They're like, "No, there's no asbestos on the card." They're like, "No, dude, it's COVID. We don't do business cards anymore. Yeah. Come on,
jeez." The guy comes back, he's like, "Yeah, they wouldn't take them because it had asbestos written on it." Like, no, listen, dude. Listen, you're just very behind the news cycle.
Yeah. Understandably, the town of Asbestos has a lot of deep-seated self-doubt, which is fair enough.
This is fair enough. Such snubs, the article continues, have now driven Asbestos to drastic measures.
Full remediation.
So, over the last 4 days, 6,800 residents have voted to rename Asbestos either L'Azur des Cantons, Jeffrey-sur-le-Lac. Jeffrey-sur-le-Lac?
What's that? Jeffrey of the Lake?
On the lake?
Jeffrey on the Lake?
In the lake?
That sounds like a play.
Yeah. Jeffrey. I mean, can we not... Is there not anything a little more francophone than Jeffrey? I'm just saying.
Mario.
La Rochelle, Phoenix, Trois-Lacs, and Val-des-Sauces, which is a short list of 6. So,
what was that last one? Something about the sauce?
Val-des-Sauces.
Oh.
Valley of the Sauce.
Oh, Valley of the Sauce.
I imagine.
Wow.
I'm translating on the fly here. Why people are looking at me to translate these into anything? I mean, Jeffrey sur le lac. I don't know. It's got a lake in it and a guy called Jeffrey. What do you want? Asbestos is just so much simpler to understand. I say keep it.
Val de
Sauce.
In English. What do we got here?
Fascinating.
Sauce Valley.
So, well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Brilliant. Well done, everybody. So there they go. Oh, it turns out the reason Jeffrey sur le lac would be because the mine was known as the Jeffrey Mine.
Oh.
There you go. Makes a little bit more sense now.
Yeah.
Rather than just be like, what does this town look like to you? Does it look like a Jeffrey?
Wait, was this the mine where they mined for asbestos?
Yeah, you got it. You got it. The clue was in the name.
Get away from the asbestos as far away as you can. I think that's probably where they should go with this. Yeah.
Yeah. The article has lots of other examples of similar towns across the world. The French town of Vandal, for example, which is spelt Vandals.
Vandals, yeah.
Yep. They changed their name in 2008 to Vantousian because they were trying not to have people turn up and laugh at them. The town mayor at the time, Claude Vellet, said, "We're not vandals, and there's no reason why people should refer to us like that." All right, Claude.
Well, not anymore.
No, clearly. The Norwegian village of Hell, which means means cliff cave in Old Norse, Hellir. Popular tourist destination for almost a century.
Yeah.
Lots of hell is frozen over postcards because it gets quite cold there.
Yep.
Big old sign saying hell, snow in the background.
You want Christmas shopping? Go to hell.
There you go. I mean, that indeed. Here they are. The local marketing and communications manager, Kirsty Greger, says the name has made hell into a travel brand. The people who live there have even put up a Hollywood-style hell sign on the hillside. Well, be careful there, Kirsty, because they guard those things. Hollywood, if they find out about that, we all know how. We all know how Seeger Chick fared with that. They got a cease and desist from Hollywood.
Yeah.
How come hell gets away with it?
I wouldn't change that, though.
It'll be a cold day in hell when they get to put a sign up, someone said. But then it was, and they did.
I hope they're not considering changing that. Because if you go with the alternative and call it heaven, then you're just like, you're kind of getting ahead of yourself, and people will come visit. They'll be like, well, this doesn't look like heaven to me.
Funnily enough, they are not getting rid of it, and they have instead joined, on Facebook, a group known as the League of Extraordinary Communities.
Beautiful.
And they have joined the town of Boring, USA, Dull, Scotland, and Bland, Australia.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, I looked up a quick little list of top unusual town names in the U.S. because you knew there would be a bunch of good ones out of the U.S. There's first one that came up was Bacon Level in Alabama.
Bacon Level?
Yeah.
That's a great name.
Yeah, right?
Great name. Did you bring the Spirit Level? No, I brought a Bacon Level. It's exactly the same, just a little different.
Dead Horse, Arkansas.
Now, this is always, can I briefly, on a tangent there, you go to Yukon, there is obviously Whitehorse.
Yes.
But then if you go really, really far north, I think it may even be in Alaska, there is a tiny community known as Dead Horse.
Oh, really?
And that, to me, tells you everything you need to know about how the horse was faring on that first trip into the north.
Like, you know what? This is Alaska. This isn't... I don't know the state abbreviations very well. So I thought AK was Arkansas.
No, the horse was fine in Arkansas. Horse was fine. Horse got to the Yukon, was still like a bit snowy, white horse, but then it got to the top of Alaska and it was done.
Arkansas horse is thriving, bustling even.
Alaskan horse is like, this is enough. I'm not going any further.
And then there's Nothing, Arizona, which I feel like could join Dull, Scotland, and...
Yep.
What was the other one? Boring.
Bland, Australia.
Bland, Australia.
Boring, USA. Yep.
And Greasy Corner, Arizona. Another one that I really liked. Yeah.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And like the UK is full of these ridiculous names. I feel like Canada, most Canadian place names are like kind of interesting and not necessarily bad funny.
Yeah.
But the UK has all sorts of ridiculous names that presumably someone in the 12th century thought was great.
There's got to be a town called Twit in the UK
and
somewhere.
There's names like Wamping Bottom, you know, and you look at it and you're like, Wamping Bottom. Someone thought to themselves, where would I like to live?
Yeah.
What should we call? Well, you know, Wamping at the top of the hill. Well, we're just below Wamping.
Yeah.
So we're Wamping Bottom.
They're Upper Wamping.
Yeah, exactly. Upper Wamping, Lower Wamping, Wamping Bottom. Just enough. They're all over the place. The other Little Gorse trout or something. Why are we living here? What are those? Are just words.
Bumblesville.
Yeah.
There's another good one out of Connecticut called Hazardville, where nothing bad ever happens.
Twinned with Asbestos Canada.
That's right.
Perfect. Imagine how the people at Hazardville feel trying to give out business cards. At least with Yellowknife, we've sort of masked the fact that, one of the most toxic sites in the whole world is parked 2 kilometers from our doorstep. Yeah, if we'd been called Giant Mine, again, that would have sort of, where do you live? The tourists, it's already, the NWT Tourism has its work cut out for the next 12 months, trying to get people to come here, without necessarily having to put on all of its posters, come to Giant Mine. Yeah, that's why you don't name things after mines, Asbestos.
Cabin Radio's morning show podcast. All the best chat, none of the embarrassing mistakes.
We have a special guest on the line because it is almost time for NAC to actually start getting people back on the stage and actually have real live shows. Joining us on the line this morning, I'm really pleased to welcome to the show Thelma Chichu. Good morning, Thelma.
Good morning, Ollie. How are you?
I am doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay.
Very early in the morning.
Well, I'm sorry that we've dragged you out of bed to get on the show with us, but we're glad to have you with us. So, hey, look, this is really exciting, Thelma. It feels like a lifetime since we had live performances on a stage here in Yellowknife, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be you. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I feel great. It's been a long time, because I've actually took time off January and February and thinking I was going to go back on the road again. And then the shutdown happened, so it's been a long while, and it's really nice to get back on the stage. I had a rehearsal this past Saturday with the band, and we were actually rehearsing right on the next stage, so it was nice to get back on the stage again, So I'm looking forward to it. And the band, of course, is really looking forward to it as well.
Of course. So what have you been doing with yourself then? Because you were planning to get back out on the road. Then, of course, COVID hit. We all know how that turned out. What were you doing to kind of keep yourself sane through the summer and without that opportunity to go and do that?
Well, as a songwriter, of course, you end up trying to be creative, figuring out, what to do. But during the time off that I had decided to take time off, I was working on wanting to sit down and really write more music for my new album that's coming out in 2021. So I'm actually working on the album. So it gave me time to really be creative, sort of map out the songs that I wanted to put on this new album. And I've also, developed and designed a program called the Youth Music Mentorship Project. And I started working on this project in 2014. So during the time I was off, I was really working on redesigning the program because I had just come off the road with the program. I was running the program for a couple of years, and that's kind of kept me pretty busy throughout this time. So I've had a little bit of time off because there's, sometimes when you're on the road a lot, you kind of neglect certain things in the home. So it was kind of nice to just kind of wind down a bit, and it really gives you an idea to, you kind of reflect on things. So it was actually a good time off for me.
Well, now you get to kind of wind back up again, if you like, and get back onto a stage. When you actually get there on the night, do you think it's going to feel different? It's such a long time, I guess, to have to go without that kind of performance feeling that I know a lot of artists, thrive on. How do you think it's going to be on the night?
Well, for one thing, I think it's going to be, it's always, for an artist, it's always exciting to, step on stage in front of an audience, and it's going to be like sharing that experience with, hopefully we have sold the 50 tickets. It looks like it's doing good right now. And, you get to share that experience with those people that are in the audience. So it is going to be a really great, I think, a great energy because a lot, the other musicians were talking about that. Wow, we're getting to play live again, because a lot of us, that's what we do. A lot of us tour, do different projects, and we're always in front of people. And, it's something that you choose to do. So it's going to be a really exciting night. It's not the first show, though. Carmen Braden was on, I think she had a show I don't know if it was in August, and I'm not sure. I don't think they had an audience at that time. So I think this is the second show that's happening at NAC. So it's going to be exciting because we're doing a live show for the audience, but we also are being pre-recorded and on live stream. So there'll be a lot of people being able to come and watch it later or watch it the next day on the 30th when it's going to go up on live stream. And there are a lot of people tuning in from different areas around the world that told me they're going to watch. So I'll be giving kind of shout-outs to people around the world that I know that are going to be watching. So it's going to be kind of exciting as well.
Thelma, I just took a quick look at the NAC website to see how many tickets were left. You'll be happy to know there are a grand total of 6 tickets remaining.
Oh, that's great.
So you're doing pretty well.
Good to hear. Yeah. Yeah, that's good to hear. Yeah, because, that's the one thing, I know there have been people tell me they want to go and actually see a live show again. So we got to bring it when we're up there.
Well, that should create some urgency. Those 6 tickets will be snapped up in no time, I'm sure. And I imagine, like you mentioned, it's going to be recorded and broadcast at a later date, and so lots of people will have the opportunity to enjoy the performance. But in the moment of performing itself, I imagine it's going to be a relief for you, and hopefully many other performers, if we can continue to do this and find ways to make live performances with an audience happen. I imagine it'll be a relief for you to actually have that live energy from the audience to feed off of.
Yes, it is, because when we were rehearsing, it was nice to be on the stage and really get the energy going with the show that we're planning to do for the audience. And I think as well, it hasn't been, I recognize that it hasn't been easy for a lot of people, in the music industry, as well as organizations like NAC, and, people that are in the industry. And I think one of the things for us musicians, that's your livelihood. So what I did was I made sure to hire local. So anytime I'm doing shows before COVID-19, I've always hire local when I'm here playing shows in town. It's just, I think it's good to give back to the community as well, and really, grateful for the opportunity that NAC has provided for us to be on stage. So we are excited about it. We have a lot of energy. We're really ready to, get on stage and put on a good show.
I think it sounds from the ticket sales down like people are ready to watch it as well. Thank you so much for coming on the show with us this morning, and good luck. We hope it goes amazingly well.
Yes, thank you very much, Ollie, for inviting me on your show. And just to let the audience know, if they're not really aware of me, they could also check out my Facebook page, Thelma Chichu Music. I am a Cree singer-songwriter, born and raised in Northern Ontario on a small remote island called Moose Factory, Ontario. And if they want to know more, I have my biography up on there as well.
Perfect. That is Thelma Chichu Music.
Yeah, so if there's anybody listening out there that bought tickets, we're really excited to share that experience with them.
Okay. NACNT.ca if you want to get those last 6 tickets. Thelma, thanks for joining us, and we hopefully will speak to you soon.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks,
Have
Thelma.
a good day.
You too. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
That is Thelma Chichu. It is October 29th at 7:30 p.m. that she is going to be performing on the stage live for up to 50 people at NAC. As Lecter says, there's like a handful of tickets left. So NACNT.ca right now if you want to remember what it was like to go to a live music show, because guess what? There's one coming back. And as Thelma said, it's going to be filmed by WOMP. So it'll be online on Friday, October the 30th. And it'll also be on Northwest Tel TV on Friday at 7:30 p.m. as well. Tickets are $20 each. NACNT.ca.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
And now on to a topic of considerable interest to an internet-based radio station, unlimited internet packages beginning November the 2nd, I believe, in a few different communities, 7 communities in total, a few of which are in the NWT. Off the top of my head, Yellowknife, Hay River, Fort Smith, Norman Wells. Person who'll be able to confirm that for me and tell you a little bit more than that is the Northwest Tel President, Curtis Shaw, who joins me on the line. Curtis, good morning.
Good morning, Ollie.
Lovely to have you with us. I appreciate you taking the time. Now, no pressure, Curtis, but it looks like there may not necessarily be that much else for any of us to do outside this winter, so this had better work, this whole unlimited internet thing, okay?
It's a good time of year to be launching faster internet and unlimited internet going into the winter months, so absolutely.
Okay, excellent. So, listen, I know that, first of all, we're talking about packages here. They're going to be launching next month. At the top end of the scale, it'll be maybe an extra $10 a month for the top 2 packages. A little bit further down the scale, you may be paying an extra $50 a month to get a hold of this. You've got some information sessions coming up this week. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, we do. So we have a project. It's called the Every Community Project. Over the next 3 years, we want to bring high-speed internet at least 50 megabits per second to all the residents of the Northwest Territories. So working with the CRDC, we applied on a funding pot about a year and a half ago, and in August we received conditional funding for that funding. And what we're going to be doing in the Northwest Territories is increasing basically internet speeds in every community over the next 3 years. So we're going to be doing investments like fiber to the home to raise up the carrying capacity of the pipe that goes into your house. And in some of our satellite communities, like What's Okay, we're going to be running in a technology called low Earth orbit satellites. So our goal here over the next 3 years is to bring all of the Northwest Territories communities up to that standard of at least 50 megabits per second to the home. And how we're going to be doing it predominantly is running fiber to the home in all the communities that have copper phone lines today. So in the other thing that I would mention in Yellowknife, Norman Wells, Hay River, and Fort Smith, where we have cable systems today, and we already have faster carrying capacity, we are going to be launching that unlimited option on November 2nd. So really excited that was able to be done prior to getting into the winter months in the Northwest Territories.
Okay, the online sessions, by the way, if people are interested in signing up for them, they are October the 20th at 10 a.m., October the 22nd at 7 p.m. What kinds of things, Curtis, are people going to be able to learn more about if they turn up at those sessions?
So we're really looking for residents of the Northwest Territories to come out, give us some feedback. We're going to go over the project over the next 3 years, what it looks like, what type of construction work we are going to be doing across the Northwest Territories, and in timing. So we're going to go over that on those virtual information sessions. We are looking for customer feedback. So we have a website set up, everycommunity.nwtel.ca. People can go to the website and fill out a survey. And I would encourage all of your listeners to attend an information session. There will be a moderator and some questions and ability to engage with the team here at Northwest Tel.
Now, I know even in the recent past, Northwest Tel has said there's actually quite a lot of work involved in being able to reliably deliver an unlimited service. For the initial communities here in November that are being rolled out, is that work complete? How confident can you be that this is going to roll out next month without any interruption or degradation in service?
We've done a lot of work since March on these communities in terms of upgrades. Obviously, when the pandemic hit in March and April, we had engineers and technicians working around the clock with a lot of midnight and 1 a.m. cutovers. But over the summer months, we've done a lot of investment behind the scenes to make sure that this goes off without a hitch. And our goal here is to provide the best possible internet experience in all 4 of these communities and make sure unlimited works for all of our customers in Yellowknife November 2nd.
And just looking at pricing for a second, I think everybody understands that unlimited internet is likely to cost a little bit more than whatever they were signing up for before. You mentioned low Earth orbit satellites, though, and people listening to this are probably conditioned to thinking of satellite internet as something that costs money, that certainly costs significantly more money than maybe doing it any other way. Is that technology going to be available at prices comparable to what people are paying now?
So in our 8 communities in the Northwest Territories that are served by satellite, we're looking at putting LEO Earth stations in those communities and then rolling high-speed internet off that infrastructure. And we believe right now, from what we've seen, we can deliver the same pricing or similar pricing in those communities to the rest of the Northwest Territories. And, obviously there's lots of work that has to be done over the next 2 or 3 years, but we're pretty confident that technology will lower the cost and speed up the service in our 8 communities in the Northwest Territories.
And just in a more general sense in terms of prices, look, I realize there are vast challenges in the North in terms of the infrastructure and delivering some of these things. People forever are saying, when might prices start to look more like the prices that people pay down south? I mean, is there any kind of timeline in your mind for when people might start to look at the cost of their internet in the North and say, hey, you know what, actually that's comparable?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I would say, affordability is top of mind for me and for the team here at Northwest Tel. We've done a lot of work to try to keep our costs down to be able to pass on savings to customers. So if you look at our internet services in the Northwest Territories, we actually, at the entry level, we're trying to have packages that are affordable to the end customer. So we have packages that start at $37, and those are on par or even lower than other providers in Canada. Second thing, we haven't had a rate increase. We haven't done a rate increase for 7 years. And if you think about all the cost inputs we have as a company, electricity prices, our employees, food, all those types of things in the Northwest Territories continually go up. So we've really tried to put a cap on residential internet pricing, and they haven't changed in 7 years. With this project, one of the commitments we have is we're really going to peg back to Yellowknife pricing. So the communities that pay a little more for internet today are going to come down to those Yellowknife prices, and we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that there's the best value proposition for our residential customer base right across the NWT over the next 3 or 4 years.
Okay. Curtis, thank you for your time joining us this morning. One more time, those sessions are October 20th at 10 a.m., October 22nd at 7 p.m. Where do people go, Curtis, to actually get involved with those sessions?
So if you go to our website, everycommunity.nwtel.ca, there's information on how to get into the sessions and sign up. And if you can't attend, like I said, there's also a survey. You can go and fill out a survey and learn more about this project.
Okay, Curtis, thanks for your time this morning. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Ollie. Have a good day.
Cheers. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That is Curtis Shaw. He is the president of Northwest Tel, and they have those sessions coming up on Tuesday, Thursday this week. You heard the website just there. And you can learn more about when unlimited internet may be coming to you if you are not in somewhere like Yellowknife, Fort Smith, Hay River, Norman Wells. And if you are in one of those places, November the 2nd is the day. Lecter, what will you invest in unlimited internet over there? How much hockey are you watching online these days, bud?
God, not enough. Although the season's going to start next week, so
well, there you go.
It's supposed to anyway, but yeah, no. I mean, yeah, it's interesting what he said about the cost there. I think it's cool and probably a good thing that their priority number one is bringing the community's costs down to what Yellowknifers currently are used to spending. If we could get that a little bit lower for everyone, that'd be great. But yeah, I don't know. We don't eat up a ton of internet right now, but I mean, hey, if we're all going to get locked down again, yeah, unlimited internet would probably be a pretty good thing.
Right, if there are no craft fairs coming up this fall, and I'm just saying it's not looking good, all right? I'm hearing whisperings that we may not necessarily all be able to huddle 300 people in one tiny square room, all examining the same piece of clay. Mm-hmm. The same we do every December, every November. You go to events in Yellowknife, you're like, I did not realize St. Patrick's High School could actually hold this many people at once. Mm. But here we all are, fighting like cats for tiny pieces of pottery. If we don't get to do that, we're just going to have to watch, I don't know, some sort of Netflix show about pottery.
Yeah, we'll just have to do it virtually.
There's a Netflix show about tacos that it's into its second season, and I did not think that my interest would be sustained in a Netflix documentary series purely about the art of the taco through a second season. But here we all are.
But here we are.
And that is the joy of unlimited internet.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.